Quarterfinal 3 is upon us. Dahlia, who was able to defeat Cynthia in the last round, in the round of 16, is in the quarterfinals. The arcade star from Pokemon Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. Can she get into the semifinals, or will it be Bongo? I think the only one remaining with a Pokemon on their team that can still evolve. After the first few groups, or at least the first few battles even in the first few groups of group stage, we got a general idea that Pokemon with higher base stat totals do still have at least a slight advantage over Pokemon with a higher base stat total. Not saying that things like Dialga and Palkia Mewtwo are always going to win every tournament. Like every battle. We saw someone with Rayquaza and Arceus and Registeel on their team not do well at all in their group, and I think even got last, 7th or 8th. But generally speaking, Pokemon that aren't fully evolved, especially smaller ones like Horsea, generally don't do too well. But it's still a Metronome tournament, it is still luck-based, and there's perhaps still some synergy with other Pokemon. Speaking of... I thought it was... Ludicolo was in the other spot, and I thought that was gonna stab super effective hit Horsea. I was gonna say, oh my god, Horsea really didn't last long, but yeah. In the end, it is a Metronome battle, it is based on luck, it is mostly luck-based. But I did notice that the higher bases of the Pokemon do still have somewhat of an advantage, at least. If they wouldn't have, then on average, the full Rattata team, the full Zigzagoon team, to an extent, the Magikarp team, and then I remember another team, it was either in Group A or Group B, that had a bunch of... Oh, well, that's managed to have gone. There was another team with a bunch of low-stat Pokemon, such as Combee and Unknown. Some of them had wins, but nothing were super convincing in my memory, and none of them qualified for Top Cut either. So I feel like that does say something, at least. So I've considered, for the next Metronome tournament, to change the formula by which I calculate the levels. Because the higher the base stat total of a Pokemon, the lower their level to compensate. Arceus, having the highest base stat total, is the lowest in level. Meanwhile, there's a few Pokemon that are really low on base stat totals, such as Sunkern or Weedle. They are level 99, perhaps even level 100, because there's a few Pokemon like Slackoff that get a bit of a boost just due to the fact that they have a negative ability like Truant. Yeah, in Group A, the baby teams pretty much just only beat each other. Yeah. In Group A and B hit multiple of those. I think it was Zigzagoon and I think the baby team, as I called it, in Group A, and then it was the Magikarp or Rattata team in Group B, something like that. And something I've noticed, especially with the Magikarp team, I didn't expect it to do well based on how the other low base stat total teams did. But Magikarp's main base stat is speed. And sure, speed can be nice, you outspeed another Pokemon, maybe you paralyze them, therefore you paralyze them, they can't attack. You use Hypnosis, or you use Dark Void so that they can't attack. You KO them before they can attack. There are various advantages to going first, yes. However, in a long battle, you're going to take a lot of hits, you're going to deal a lot of hits. I feel like HP, both attacking stats but defensive stats, are more important than speed. And with Magikarp having its main thing in speed, oh yay, it's going to outspeed everyone. But deal damage with what stats? Not take big hits with what stats? I didn't expect the Magikarp team to do well. It needed a lot of luck to even get that one draw that they did. So I've considered changing the formula a bit with how I effectively punish bigger Pokemon for their higher base stats and lowering their level further. There is a formula that I've used from the start for things like the 1v1 Metronome tournament as well. But yeah, if it would make the numbers a bit more awkward, just because it's a really nice number that I can divide stuff by, the formula that I made. I can lower it a bit more. Oh my god, Sheer Cold! Dusknoir came in early because of Metachamp's either Lunar Dance or the other self-KOing move. Fell asleep immediately and then gets Sheer Colded while it's sleeping. Bongo heard me say that I was surprised the team with a Horsea was still in the tournament, and here they are leading 4-6 after a few turns. His Magic's 1 point was magical, but the fact that they got 1 point and their opponent got 1 point also mattered, because that opponent, I believe, finished 5th in the group that they got that draw against. If they would have beaten the Magikarp team, that person would have moved on. I wish it was going to be really nice for Horsea, but the Horsea is now down. Did outlive Metachem and Dust Noir. So what Dahlia wants to do is just focus all their damage on whatever slot Tropius is in right now, what might come out there. Tropius used Sheer Cold. Tropius down. Dahlia is back to 4-4. Dahlia heard me say that, oh my god, the Bongo's in the lead. Not anymore. There'll be a slight HP advantage for Bongo, but that's it. Dreamer, the Lantern has Wish active, so next turn it will get some healing. So Dahlia probably just wants to focus their damage this turn or anything that they do against Nidoqueen. If it's like status drops like Leer, sure to hit the Lantern, but damage, put it on Nidoqueen for the turn. Fire Blast, ooh.
Torch by Fire Blast, but this is not a favorable matchup.
Well, there goes Wish. Use Giga Drain on Lantern.
Hit. Lantern.
I saw that zoom. That's the same zoom as how Imprison starts. I'm gonna sell the swirls, and I didn't see the move yet. I thought we were gonna see Imprison, but it's
what kind of developments can we
transform. We see another fully evolved starter being transformed into. We had it with Empoleon and Typhlosion in the first quarterfinals. Now we have it with Blaziken. Is that how we do transform? We just see it transform only against fully evolved starter Pokemon? Do either Jared or Trevor have a fully evolved starter?
Multiple hits. It keeps dealing damage.
Jared doesn't. Trevor does not. No, neither has a fully evolved starter. So, based on what we've seen so far, we will not see transform in the next quarterfinals. Oh, critical hit, so much damage.
It hit 2 Pokemon at once.
Nature Power is one of the few moves that I can think of. One of two. It's Nature Power and... No, Nature Power, Secret Power, Camouflage, maybe there's one more. Where it matters what Coliseum you're in. The effect of it, the type you change into with Camouflage, depends on what Coliseum you're in. Now, I randomize them. I just see either player pulling out something like Nature Power as part of the luck. But effectively... You could, I suppose, make the argument that I have the tiniest bit of control over these battles because I have effectively, by randomizing into Magma Coliseum, or choosing, like, I didn't stream or record the randomization process. By selecting Magma Coliseum, I made sure that we would see Rock Slide and not something like Tri-Attack or Hydro Pump out of Nature Power. Sky Uppercut, that's one of Blazing's moves. But, if you look at the HP remaining on these Pokemon, Bongo's turned things around. They were 6-4 behind, like 4-6 behind. No, ahead. No, yeah, never mind. They didn't turn around. They brought it back. I'm mixing things up. They were ahead 4-6. Dahlia brought it back 4-4. Now it's 3-4. Bongo leads once again. I remembered something incorrectly. Here comes Togekiss. A couple of Togekiss in the quarterfinals. A couple of Ludicolo as well.
But we still can't predict the outcome of the battle.
Big stab fighting move by the other Blaziken.
Its accuracy fell. Ouch! That was rather self-destructive.
That one goes down. It's 2-4. Dahlia's in trouble. 2 Pokemon off in the score once again. Can they bring it back to 2-2 and then try something? They do have a legendary. Here's Zapdos.
Zapdos is sent out.
The Ultra Ball working with Dahlia's outfit in terms of color coordination, it working with Zapdos. Togekiss already at pretty much half HP due to the high jump kick from Blaziken earlier. Zapdos, what do you got? Ember, and that's on Blaziken. Bongo's looking really good, and they still have 2 legendaries remaining.
Queen still can't pull off a move. Lantern starts to attack. It didn't do anything.
The 5 power points after transform have run out, but the Lepe Berry does boost them back up to 10. Bit of damage. Are we gonna see poison points, or does this Nidoqueen have rivalry? I don't remember. Let's see. It has poison points, so that could have activated there. 30% chance. Guillotine. Zapdos going for it, but I'm pretty sure Zapdos is lower level than Lantern. So that could not have hit. We had a 1-KO move already that took a Pokemon out, Tropius and Dust Noir. We had, I believe, another Sheer Cold tried in one of the earlier battles, which could have hit but missed. This one could not have hit, just due to the fact that the user was lower level than the target. Here's a true Rock Slide, not through Nature Power.
Hit 2 Pokemon at once. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this.
What would be a good move for Dahlia to get right now? Surf would hit them both, Earthquake would hit them both, but that would also hit Togekiss. No, Earthquake would not. So either Togekiss or Zapdos getting Earthquake, or maybe Magnitude would be good too, but Magnitude could be weaker. Earthquake would be really good. That's Razor Wind. It's not even a flying move. At least it'll be some decent damage.
Its attack missed.
Nidoqueen's not hitting a lot of moves right now. Spit Up, one of the moves that is most of the time used. So saying once, maybe twice during the entire tournament, we've seen it actually work out. Sharpens, it's a bit of an attack boost. Not much happened this turn, so Zapdos will be able to get Razor Wind going. Would have been nice to, if that was a flying move, to super effectively hit Blaziken, or was Lantern. The crit on Nidoqueen, not bad. Gets them both low, but they're not down yet. Still 2-4. Tackle removes that attack boost that Togekiss just got. Lowers the defense. We've seen a 2-0 win and a 3-0 win so far in the quarterfinals. What are we going to see next? Stab. Fighting move. Here's Karate Chop on that lowered defense by Tickle. Big hit. That would have made it that would make it 1-4 if Togekiss were to go down. And we would see the biggest advantage we've seen so far in the quarterfinals. Razor Wind again. I really want to know how that randomization works. Sometimes you see multiple moves pulled off in quick succession. Like that, if it is truly random, that can just happen. but I feel like it's not truly random. Knowing that how the random seed is always the same when you first load up the game, and therefore have to do a battle to even reset the RNG seed before I start recording. Fissure could hit if it wasn't that Zapdos was a flying type. Itogekiss survives this. This is really good. U-turn. I need to make notes. Blaziken now survives. Because Blaziken probably would have gone down to a stab Razor Wind here. Blaziken goes to the back. Let's see, we were looking at Bongo. So player B order. Every time something like Whirlwind or U-turn happens, I have to make a note. So we do slot 6, then slot 5 that remain. And then the score is immediately 2-3. I make a note of this because if I don't send Pokemon out in the correct order, I have to reset the entire battle. Dreamer was Lantern, or Blaziken was going into slot 5 because I still have to send them out in order when I have the ability to. Like with something like Roar or Whirlwind, I don't. Healing Wish, U-turn, I do. Dreamer is now in slot 5. That is, they go to the back of the line if they're switched out for any reason. So slot 6 goes first. We suddenly have both legendaries on the field.
Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. What kind
Togekiss and low health. That is what Bongo will want to hit. Make it that 2v1 scenario on the field. Twister, same type attack bonus. Critical on Togekiss, and it's down. 1-3, Dahlia. The luck has not been on your side. Did you use it all up against Chibi Manny and Cynthia? Kyogre's first move this battle. Pound. Little move. We've seen a few moves like Tackle, Scratch, Pound. Your basic normal type moves.
Latias starts to attack. Solid hit, but this is not a favorable matchup.
In terms of the prediction that was made before this battle, it is tied for both players. So there was not a clear favorite in terms of the votes. Keiko, Ancient Power, that's super effective. Are you going to make it even worse and see the Omni Boost? No, because that would really seal the deal. Zapdos on 6 HP against a 2/3 HP Latias, a full HP Kyogre, and then still a Lantern in the back. With not many HP, but it's there. Latias, will you finish it? It's already raining. Is Bongo going to go to the semi-finals? Spit Up, we've also seen this battle already. Kyogre. Are you finishing up Zapdos? Fling? Yes, you are. It's not a powerful fling, but 6 HP. It's not enough! I knew it would be weak, but how much HP did that do? 5! Like, honestly, like, Bongo, I think Bongo should win at this point. But if we see a comeback like this, we've almost saw a 1-4 into a 1-0 victory when it was my brother's team, Ziggy, the Zigzagoon team against Gong. I believe that was round 1. Like, very first battle, round 1, group A, I think it was in. We almost saw that comeback. We saw a 1-3 behind to 1-0 win comeback. 1 HP comeback, though. Will it happen, or will we see, as Shinzo was saying in the chat here, going to the semifinals with a Horsea on the team? I did mention that there's a slight disadvantage for Pokemon with lower stats. Future Sight puts a timer on Zapdos, but Future Sight can miss, so it doesn't have to mean anything. Discharge, big hit, Fury Cutter, nah, it's not gonna do much. At least there's some damage on a Kyogre now. Kyogre, another opportunity to finish it off. Any hit. Literally any hit at this point. They have 1 HP. Anything that deals damage. I'm trying to think. Super Fang. I believe halves the HP that's dealt. I'm not sure if it then rounds up or rounds down, but the minimum damage it deals is 1. So it would KO here. It would be awesome to see Super Fang ended, honestly. Or just use something like Sheer Cold. Dynamic Punch misses.
Its attack missed.
Zapdos has another opportunity. Maybe we just see Recover, we keep going, Discharge. Or maybe Zapdos just decides, let's just end it and explode. Leaving Lantern as the only survivor. Kyogre. This could have been over many turns ago, but we have 1 HP on Zapdos. Not. No, that doesn't work. There's no more Pokemon. The last 2 Pokemon on Dahlia's team were Flying type anyway. At the end of this turn, we will see Future Sight. Which I think is 90 accuracy? Latias. Malaise, can you finish it? So many opportunities for 1 HP. Super effective. Bongo to the semifinals.
It went down. The game is now over. The red corner pulled off an impressive victory.
I predicted Bongo would lose in the round of 32 to CS, and then I thought CS would make it to the semifinals. Clearly I should have chosen Bongo. 3-0. Very well done, Bongo. You're in the semi-finals. Who will you face? Well, it's gonna be scary no matter what. It's either defending champion Trevor, who again has made it to a really high finishing position, already in the top 8 out of a 64-person tournament. They certainly have a scary team, having won their group. Or will you fight Jared, the winner of Group F, the only person in group stage to have won everything and has 1 round of 32, 1 round of 16. One of those 2 will be your opponent, Bongo. Good luck in the semifinals. While you relax from this battle, from this victory, we're going to go to what on paper is certainly to be one of the biggest battles in the tournament. I'll see you in the next video. Trevor versus Jared.